I'm going to show you how to change the battery, set the time and alarm, as well as demonstrate how to use other features of this Kenneth Cole reaction watch. It's model RK5015. If you don't need to change the battery and only want to know how to use the watch, for example, set the time and alarm, see the information section below to jump to that chapter of the video. Let's get started. To change the battery, you'll need a new CR2016 battery, soft surface, 2 small jeweler's Phillips head screwdrivers, tweezers, and a place to put small screws. Jeweler's glasses or a magnifying glass aren't necessary unless, like me, you struggle to see small parts. I picked up this watch repair toolkit from Amazon. It was $18, but you don't need all these fancy tools. I purchased this because my other half just handed me 5 old watches she'd like working again. I also figured I should try to make this video look as professional as possible, even though, to my other half's dismay, I'm not a professional watch repair person. It's a watch, so there are many small fragile parts, which is to say, proceed at your own risk. Fortunately, there's no need to remove the band to get to the back of the case. Just slip the strap through the band, and you're ready to go. Using a small Phillips head screwdriver, remove the 4 screws that attach the back plate to the case. When it comes to small screws, I like to keep track of which holes they came out of. It may simply be OCD, but I feel like the screws provide the case with a better seal when they go back into the holes they came out of. Tweezers make it easier for me to pick up screws, but sometimes they also cause me to toss the screws if I pinch too hard. I'm not saying it'll happen, but it's likely. I'm going to leave the last 2 screws in the cover holes and lift off the cover. You can use your hands to remove the cover, but I'm going to try this new watch back removal tool. Hands are easier. To get to the battery, this clip needs to be moved. The clip is held down by 2 very small Phillips head screws, and I'm going to need to use some magnification to see them. I'm going to remove the top screw with a magnetized screwdriver and set it aside. I'm going to loosen the bottom screw a few turns, just enough to move the clip aside using the tweezers. Be careful not to get the battery clip or tweezers caught on the tiny watch springs, or worse, break them off. That'll be detrimental to the watch. Remove the old battery. Get a new CR2016 battery. And I'll place it in plus side up. I probably shouldn't be making a connection of the plus and minus side with the metal tweezers, but it's only for a moment. Get the clip back in place. I'll tighten the bottom screw just a little to hold the clip in place. Then replace the top screw. Now to finish tightening the bottom screw. Before reassembling, it's a good idea to lubricate the case's gasket. The back plate says this watch is water resistant to 50 meters. However, over time the rubber gasket can dry out, leaving the watch vulnerable to water and even sweat. To maintain the gasket, I'm going to apply the silicone lubricant I got on Amazon as well, and apply it modestly to the gasket using the tip of the tweezers. Now to put the back plate on. I'm going to get the two bottom screws back into the plate to make it easier. Nope. Oh man. I spoke too soon. This isn't going to be easy. Now I regret using a towel as the soft surface. Ugh. Can't seem to get the little bugger. I'm going to get this set up off camera and come back. Okay, so now to screw the back plate on. I like to get all the screws fitted loosely, and then I'll tighten them all down. For some reason, the magnetic screwdriver isn't working. I'll have to magnetize it later. All right, I'm going to speed this up later. Maybe put some circus music to it. This is like trying to pick up fleas. All right, now to tighten them all down. All right, finally. I'm going to press the mode button, make sure it's good. All right. Now to put the leather strap back into the band, and then we'll set the time. The seconds are flashing because I pressed the mode button a few times. I'll get to that in a moment. And this is the display. There's the time day of the week, day of the month. However, there's no month in the display, AM or PM, since the watch is in 12-hour clock format, and seconds. Since the watch seems to be a little out of focus, let me give you a look at the buttons. I'm going to press the mode button again just to get back to the time screen. From the time screen, pressing the mode button scrolls through alarm mode, stopwatch or chrono mode, set time mode, and then we're back to the time screen. To set the time and date, you'll want to press the mode button 3 times in order to get to the clock set display. You'll notice that the seconds are flashing, and if you want to set them back to 0, you just press the start stop button. To move on to setting the hour, you'll press the reset button, and you'll notice that the hours flash, and then use the start stop button. You can either press it individually or press and hold it in order to change the hour. Take notice of the little P in the lower left corner. That designates whether you're setting AM or PM. For AM, it doesn't show anything. For PM, the little circle shows up with the P. Once the hour is set, press the reset button again, and you'll notice that the minutes now flash. So you'll use the start stop button to select the minutes. And again, you can press it individually or press and hold the start stop button to cycle through the minutes. Once that's set, press reset, and you'll notice that the month flashes. Then use the start stop button to select the month. Once the month is set, press the reset button, and you'll notice that the day of the month flashes. Use the start stop button to select the day of the month. Then press reset, and you'll notice that the day of the week flashes. Then use the start stop button to select the day of the week. And we're done. So you can press the mode button, which brings us back to the time screen. Here from the time screen, if you press the start stop button, you can change the clock format from 12-hour to 24-hour format. You'll see 24 appear in the display. To switch it back to 12-hour clock format, just press the start stop button again. To set the alarm and turn on and off the hourly chime, press the mode button once to get to the alarm set screen, and you'll notice that the AL appears in the lower left. And to set the alarm, you press the reset button, and you'll notice the hours are flashing. Again, you'll use the start stop button to select the hour. And again, take notice of the AM or PM. Press the reset button again, and you'll notice that the minutes now flash. So you'll use the start stop button to select the minutes. Once the minutes are set, press reset, and the alarm is set. To get back to the time screen, press the mode button. Now you're going to see ALM appear in the display, letting you know that the alarm is set. When the alarm sounds, press reset to silence it, and the alarm will sound again the next day unless you turn it off. To turn on or off the alarm, as well as turn on or off the hourly chime, press the mode button until you're in alarm set mode. You'll see AL appear in the display, and press the start stop button 3 times. You'll notice that each time you press the start stop button, the watch cycles through ALM, hourly chime, so that it chimes on the hour, both alarm and chime, and then off. Since I want both the alarm and chime on, I'll press start stop until both appear in the display. Pressing the mode button returns to the time screen, and now you can see that the alarm is on and the hourly chime will chime every hour on the hour. Now for the stopwatch, and that's for timing something like maybe a chicken in the oven, I don't know. Press mode twice until ST appears in the display, and press start stop to begin the count up. And to pause the stopwatch, press start stop. To To resume the count up, press Start Stop. If you press reset while the timer's running, it pauses the display, but the chrono is still counting in the background. So if I press reset again, it'll jump to the current time passed and continues. If I press reset to see how much time has passed and press start stop, I've stopped the timer. And if I press reset, it tells me how much time has passed in total at this point. Pressing start stop resumes the counter. Once I'm done timing whatever it is, for example, a lap around the track, I can press start stop to stop the timer. And if I want to set it back to 0, I press reset. Press start stop to begin the count up. While the stopwatch is running, I can go back to the time screen by pressing mode, but nothing on the time screen indicates that the timer is running in the background, although it is. And pressing any button from the time display screen doesn't change the stopwatch. So to start, stop, or pause the timer, you need to use the mode button to get back to stopwatch. For now, I'll stop the timer, reset it, and then use mode to get back to the time screen. And lastly, the backlight, which is lame in my opinion. It's activated by pressing the light button, and it stays on for maybe 2 seconds. It's really hard to see. Let's see if I can get the angle better. I can barely read the display. Anyway, I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please do me a favor and like it. More importantly, please subscribe. That always helps the channel. Thanks for watching. This is like trying to pick up fleas.